what I knew when I come here from Oslo was about Eiroa and the cigars and the flavors. That's it. That's all. And what I have to say to the customers, no more. I never have the interest to taste, to try a cigar, ever. It was like, okay. But when we come to the farm, and Christian started to tell and show us the small plant, that's the moment my interest for what is it actually, and see every single step. How one cigar, one puro, it's amazing. And I never thought in my life that I will smoke a puro. Ever. I always say I'm 51 years old and I say ever. It's never going to touch my mouth. And I'm so happy that I did, that Christian told me to do.
Excellent choice of New World cigars.
Carlos, you gotta record the first cigar, man.
And in the end, I say, why not? Give it a try. And I love it.
So each one of these trays holds 96 little holes, and what they'll do is they take the seed, and the seed is mixed with white ashes. So the soil will be prepared, and they start spreading it that way. The reason for the white ash is just so they know exactly where they spread seed already. So when they're spraying around, they get a good even spread. After the seed will pop out, and I've been watching it, it was real nice. Just 6th, 7th day, just all of a sudden, boop, next day you show up and the little plant came out. They take a while for them to germinate because it needs to start growing. So after a while, if you notice, any one of these little cups will hold 6, 7, 8 plants, and some don't hold any. So in about a week or 2 weeks, they're going to take with a little pin, it's a little metal wire, they're going to start taking out, it's called rallying, in Spanish we call it rallying. Take out all the little ones and just keep the best one. So now it's all about survival, the whole time is about survival. The plants will be here until about 45 days. The plant's going to get to about this big, and you've seen the pictures when it gets pulled out. And the seed, the root itself, it wraps around the soil, so you bring out the whole cup. Sadly, we transplanted a couple weeks ago, so we don't have any tobacco, and it just depends on the weather. Normally, you would see tobacco that's big, and we see tobacco right in the drying and the curing barns. We're not going to see that this trip. We had, when the first seed bed was ready about 60 days ago, there was a huge storm. So all the seed beds were ready, everything was ready to go, but the fields were all flooded. We had a storm that lasted 4 or 5 days, so they had to throw all the tobacco away. So now you're going to see tobacco that was planted on January 11th, January 12th, which is only a couple weeks old, but you see how quickly that tobacco grows. And we'll get the seed as well. I've been watching that progress the whole time.
You are awesome, really. And I really want to thank you from the deepest of my heart. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for you as a fantastic houses. And I thank you for you give me the opportunity to be more rich in one more experience in my life. That's the puro that you made for me. Thank you.
Sold out.
Good business people. Sold out.
All right, tobacco barn or the curing barn. This whole structure only holds about 1 acre, 1.5 acres of tobacco. It's costing right now these about $50,000 to $80,000 US to build. They're super expensive to build because of so much wood that's being used. So tobacco is going to sit here for 45 days. It's trying to go through a different process. You're trying to get rid of all the green, the chlorophyll. You're trying to cure, and you're trying to dry the leaf at the same time. But weather is crucial. You have 45 days. Normally it's 45 days you're going to hang it here. But you do want to turn the barn a lot faster. So weather and how you climatize the barn is everything. Harry was asking me something, why do we have so much insulation? The reason for the insulation is because we have to control the weather. Already you've been here, you notice how cool the temperature was at night, and now how hot it gets. And what happens is when we have, you see the vents up there and all the way in the back, this is called a calfrisa. What it is a heating system and a moisture system that keep feeding inside the barn to make sure we keep the same climate. So Temperature goes up during the day. At night, temperature goes down normally, and the process stops. By this, we keep the same weather all day long. So from 45 days, we go maybe 36 days, 37 days. We're able to control a lot more. You get a very dry day, you get a very moist day. The weather's very, it goes up and down like that. Especially now, the last tobacco gets picked in late May, rain starts early June. So whatever tobacco is sitting here from late May is going to have different conditions than the tobacco gets picked up now. So we have to make sure that we protect the climate all the time. By controlling the calfrisa, the moisture, it gives a more consistent product in the end, which is really what you want. You want to make sure everything is the same no matter what time of year you picked it.
Absolutely everything. Everything, the beans. And the chef prepare always, every single day is like a surprise with new dish. And everything is prepared from the pound and with the locals vegetables and species. And it's amazing what he do. It's amazing what I can't explain because it's too much. If I'm going to explain that, I need 3 days to explain every single day what happened.
Not every 2 hours.
Did you guys notice that the soil is real flat? Do you remember? I mean, you can go see it on the way back. But anyway, the soil is pretty flat. They come with the tools and they start mounting soil over the stem, the stalk of the plant. Because, like I said, they absorb a little bit of nutrients from there also. But also, if there's rain, unexpected rain, the water can filter through a lot better there. It doesn't compact the soil. Because when rain is flat, it'll compact the soil. When the soil is compact, they can't get any oxygen. And by doing that also, you're moving the soil. The root itself doesn't go past 6, 8, 10 inches maybe. So the root is not a very strong root. Not like you would think of a tree or something else. Tobacco has pretty lazy roots. So by moving the soil around, you let the tobacco get more nutrients and get more oxygen as it starts growing.
My name is Monica and I come from Oslo. I live in there. And at the time, I work in a shop. The name is Cigars. And that shop has been in 112 years. And the reason that I started to work there, it wasn't the tobacco actually, because I didn't know nothing, absolutely nothing, before I started to work there. And all my family and my husband asked me, why that? You don't even smoke, you are not interested in that. But I said, why not?
That it does. Notice how the wind is turning the leaves over right now. So what the plant does when it's suffering, she starts eating more to get tougher and become stronger. And that's really what you're looking for. We like our cigars with body. That's what you're seeing it happen. And I'm glad you can see it happen right now. It's a windy day. And it's very common for us to get days like this. So it's sunny and it's windy. The plant also, we let it go. You want the soil to be dry. You want to really make the plant work, because when it's really dry, she forces her roots to go deeper into the ground, thus finding more nutrients and more oxygen in different areas. What makes my father so incredible in what he does, he's 86 now, so at his age, he doesn't care about money. He wants absolute perfection. There's no business decision with anything that he does. First to him is the end result, because now he's like, hey, you know, I want my last 5 crops, my last 10 crops to be the best I ever had, and I want to be remembered for that. So his thing is legacy and producing tobacco that's so good. But the tobacco plant, when it starts growing little plants off the side. They're called suckers. So we're always tearing those off because all they do is steal nutrients. If it's an Habano type variety, when the flower starts growing, it's called topping. We get rid of the flower. So all the nutrients now don't go to produce seed. All the nutrients go to make the leaf bigger and stronger and wider. And then as the tobacco starts growing, you start priming, which means you start taking off the leaves from the bottom. If you take off 3 leaves, those are 3 leaves less that you have to feed, and so on and so. What makes the Eiroa Dark such a great cigar is that I use the top leaves. The top leaves eliminate everything from the bottom. All the nutrients go to those top leaves. But those top leaves have already been there for a while. Dealing with the sun, dealing with the wind is very, very strong. They're very thick. Very hard to get wrappers out of those top leaves. Very, very hard. So when you get out of 1 acre, maybe 15, 20 kilos. But I also want you guys to notice how the soil changed from over there. Now the soil is different here, and then you just cross the street and it's different soil already. 2 or 3 days older.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
But it's the 98 thing, the hybrid.
But you know the way they designed the 98
Okay.
is that it's able to produce its own seed, and you're able to reproduce it.
All right.
So it's not inherent
It's
in
always the same
Yeah.
state of development.
And one thing I learned was rocky soil is actually better because when the day's over, the rocks still hold temperature, so the tobacco plant grows even at nighttime. And you can see here, it's just 2 days older, but it grows an extra hour, 2 hours.
The first day before we come to Dalin, we went in a place that is very popular here, Valle. I don't remember exactly the name. And they say that there are a very special place here in Honduras. But I think it was beautiful, but the people is even more special and fabulous, fantastic. That's the word I have for them. Fantastic people. I really recommend Honduras as a tourist place. Dalin is amazing.
Buenos días. Buenos días. They use it to cut the veins. Thimble. Dedal. Ay, ¿tenía uno repuesto?
Sí.
Ah, tenía dos. Okay. One thing that we do differently, I don't know if they changed it since. Actually, they have changed it. Before, I remember Dominican, this is called frog stripping because it looks like a frog, right? So, before, Dominican would strip it all the way up here, all the way down. I think now Dominican does it the way we do it. Obviously, you're getting rid of the stems. You don't want that inside your cigars. We still get some once in a while, but the higher you cut, I think you lose a lot of nutrients, a lot of taste, and a lot of flavor. So that's one thing that Hondurans, we've always done it this way. And like I said, I think Dominican switched to this kind of system. When you grow tobacco, you're always growing wrapper. You want wrapper. Why? The price of wrapper per pound, right, is $35, $45, $65 per pound. The price per fill is $8.50. And it costs the same. So obviously you're always looking for wrapper. That's why a lot of these seeds were developed also, because they produce a lot more wrapper than before. So you're going to see all different piles. Some of it was, a lot of that we're looking was probably mismanagement and fermentation. Because when the tobacco is in fermentation, it's there for 6-7 days each time before you turn it. Or maybe one day there was too much rain and it was naturally moist like this, and maybe the rain was on Friday. So it wasn't until Monday that they came in and said, oh my God, we got to flip this over because it had too much temperature very, very quickly. Sadly, we don't have any wrappers being sorted now, which is my favorite part when you're sorting the wrappers, because the smells are just incredible, man. I get these nice smells out of that, and that's where I get a lot of my ideas for blending cigars. But we'll see it now in fermentation. We'll see it in bulk. Anyway, so stripping, she's doing seco, she'll do ligero, viso. There are 5 different types of tobacco. You have volado, which is almost transparent, seco, viso, there's ligero, and then medio tiempo. Medio tiempo is thick like leather. So usually all 5 primings, and it's from the lower part of the plant to the highest part of the plant. The lower it is, the thinner the tobacco is going to be. The higher it is, the thicker it's going to be. And in fermentation, it's thinner tobacco will take 2 or 3 months to ferment. Thicker tobacco will take 12 to 18 months to ferment. So what we do here is a test. Of course, you want to see the taste. And we'll do it on Tobacco Barn also. You want to see the taste, but you also want to see the burn. You want to see the coat of the ash, and you want to make sure that it's not burning with an edge. And that gives you an idea when the tobacco is finally fermented. Because sometimes maybe it smells the way you want it to smell, and you think it's ready, but then you have to see how it burns. Because maybe it's not going to be perfectly ready. And here's a good chance for you to see what kind of difference the wrapper makes on the blend. Now this is second priming. The best wrappers are usually 3rd and 4th primings. To my taste, my father's taste, second priming. He likes 2nd and 3rd. I like 3rd, 4th, and of course 5th priming. When you put the bulk up, it'll start pressing down, and see how the leaves are already squeezed down. So this thing, in a few days, it'll be all the way down in here. Usually it'll be in bulk about 7-8 days each time. And what tells the difference is how much temperature it has and how much moisture still has left. The tobacco is on the top will go to the bottom. The tobacco is on the outside goes on the inside. That's the simple. There's no real scientific method in how it's done. Yeah, man, there was a company kept saying double fermented or triple fermented, and stories like that used to really upset me because you try to tell people the truth and how things really are done, and it's tough to compete with these Mickey Mouse stories. Yeah, my father likes to ferment tobacco all the way, and it's a big difference between him and I. You know, I think I like to get it to about 85-90% because I like body, but he doesn't like cigars with body, which is really why we're able to work well together through different types of productions using tobacco from the same farm. Does everybody here blow the smoke out their nose when you smoke cigars?
Of course.
Everybody. Does anybody not blow smoke out their nose when you smoke?
Yeah.
When tobacco's been sitting, ammonia gets caught up in the middle. Okay, so we used to have a system where people would shake the tobacco like this just to air it out. And what the system would do is, first it was extremely slow. Number two, if you touch this tobacco, it's already a little dry, they would break a lot of leaves. So my father invented a system back in the 1990s, these barrels. And these barrels release a lot of ammonia in that room, so you're gonna go in a room and it's very, very strong. Just breathe in and out your mouth, you'll be fine. What it does is the barrel goes around, it opens the leaf, it's called the hand of tobacco. It opens up the hand of tobacco. Whatever ammonia is trapped inside gets released and it comes back around. I personally believe that, again, this is just my personal theory, that some of the ammonia sticks in the tobacco on the outside and it evens it out, but most of it, it'll release it. Because there's no ventilation, there's no vent in that room, it's just tobacco, getting the tobacco from inside. So I have to think that some of the ammonia sticks back onto it. So we'll walk in there now and you guys will begin to understand it. If you really want to know what it's like, bro, air out your nose, then it'll be a whole different story.
That one. Wow. You have to be in there to understand that. It's what I can say. So impressive.
Breathing on the mouth doesn't help.
You feel you can taste just to smell what they do. You can feel everything.
What you're doing after it goes into pilon, once or twice, you get rid of all the moisture. You put the tobacco here and you're gonna air it out on these trays. You wanna get it so it's dry enough, not too dry that it's crispy, but that it's dry enough so you can pack it inside the bale. And now we'll see how the tobacco is packed inside the bale. It gets laid out here, and then the next room, it's how they actually make the bale, which is a pretty cool process. Okay, so the process here is gonna be a little different, and that's filler being packed. We're now gonna put the paper on top. And that's where they sew it all up, and that's it. Then once the tobacco is in the condition from here, it goes to the bale. You can age it for 100 years if you want to, or 300 years without exaggeration. Tobacco has the same qualities as paper. If you keep them in the right moisture, right humidity, right everything, it'll last forever. For the tobacco, for the cigars for like Eiroa First 20 and the Eiroa Classic, I do age the tobacco about 3 years or 4 years. I keep it in a bale because I want it to be, when I first came back into a business that has such a reputation for full body cigars, I wanted people to trust me, and I wanted to come out with cigars that were just medium body. And then that's when I got excited with the dark. I could finally start making full body cigars again for people to enjoy. And unfortunately, I can't make that many of them. But we do sit in the tobacco for 3 or 4 years for that precisely because it tones down the strength. But for the dark, I don't age it very much. You know, from the dark, it will probably go from here straight to the factory.
Honduras. When I come, I was a little bit scared because all the things you hear and read. But what can I say? Everything is amazing. The gastronomy, the people is amazing. I love this country. I'm looking forward to come back again, and I really hope that will not be the only time. So I love it.
Yeah.
All right, this is all done by hand. It's not a machine. When you look at it, it always impresses me how even they do every single one of them. Even inside the box, that the customer is able to get that first impression when he opens up that box, because I think it's part of delivery. Something that I always talk about a lot is somebody that goes to a cigar shop doesn't go to buy cigars. That person goes to a shop to escape. He or she wants some time off, time to think, time to relax, time to meet, time to whatever. It's our job, our responsibility, and as good partners to you guys and your customers, is to do our job. And our job means that every time that you recommend one of our cigars, that the cigar is always going to make you look good. Because imagine, and I'm sure it's happened to you before, you recommend a cigar and somebody goes, hey, why'd you recommend that cigar, man? This thing was terrible, it didn't draw, or a million different excuses. You know, one thing about the cigars, they're always going to be consistent. They're always going to match inside the box, because this tray is going to have a different color from this tray. All right? There's a threshold to the colors. So all the 6s have to go in one box, all the 7s have to go in one box, all the 8s go in one box. But never a 6 with an 8 in color. I mean, does that,
Right.
hopefully that example makes sense.
Right.
Because tobacco is going to give you different colors. We've seen the filler, you've seen the different tobaccos when it's being processed. Tobacco does have different colors, so we just have to make sure that everything matches and it looks real nice, real clean. They are the last ones that see those cigars before your customer sees that cigar, that box. So whatever she does is, whenever I haven't seen it, you trust that the cigars look good, but they understand the responsibility, so when they open this box, all the cigars are going to be perfectly matched. They're going to look just right. Buenas tardes!
Wow, we went and we have the privilege to see every single step from you collect the leaves and until they go to those who's ruling the cigars, the leaves, and it was they captured me to see this ability to do this without even a look at what they do, and also what the factory do, generate jobs, the schools, everything. What they do is fantastic. It's not only a factory, it's much than that.
You got different fillers here. Focus on the smells. We smell one by one.
No, I think mine will
Two, three.
At least two, even three. My blend okay. From this table. No way.
This
is only filler. The PCA
filler and the binder on this side.
Yes, I did. I don't know what it is. I call this Monica blend, and I tested out yesterday. Amazing. I love it. What can I say? I love it. It was Connecticut and Havana and C2, something like that. I remember that. Very good. Recommended that. Monica Cigars or Monica Blended. It's fabulous for the new beginnings.
Any problem?
All right,
just to know.
Grazie.
What do you think?
Let's see what we got.
But on the
Salud, everybody.
hello, thank you.
Espérate, yo me arreglo aquí el pelo.
In Spanish now. Te quiero mucho. Eres una persona fantástica, maravillosa. No, nunca me imaginé que fueras así. Y tú y tu esposa son adorables. Es hermosos los dos. Y los quiero. Me llevo un buen recuerdo de ustedes y pido a Dios poder verlos otra vez.